All right, y'all. Welcome back. I got another article for coachkrug.com. My name is Michael Krug. I'm a board certified health and fitness coach, as well as a NASM certified personal trainer. And today, really excited to be talking about ways to control damage and bounce back after partying. So before we get into this episode, if you can, please subscribe if you're here on YouTube, leave a comment, send me a message, like the video. Helps get the word out to more people. And it also helps me know that I'm not just speaking into the void and that no one's getting any value out of what I'm sharing. Also, if you got here through my list or if you got here, however you got here, please let me know. Feel free to just let me know if this is valuable or not. A lot of people have different asks and things that they need to know. So I figure if I ask questions and get an understanding of what it is people want, other people want it as well. So this topic actually came from a current client of mine who he's seen a lot of great results, and he also likes to have fun. He likes to go out on weekends, party, drink, do all the things, get into shenanigans. So I just wanted to create a specific video to address this topic, because there are people out there who will say that you can't party, you can't have any alcohol at all if you want to lose weight or do these things. And that's just not true. We can fit anything into our lifestyle in a way that will help us, or not necessarily help us, but we can still get to our goals while doing things like going out on the town for a night, or while, again, another common one that I use is eating pizza and drinking beer. We shouldn't say no to experiences in life, because at the end of the day, if our goals are forcing us to stay away from certain activities that we enjoy or to do things that we don't like doing, it's not going to be sustainable. And if you know anything about me and what I stand for and how I operate, sustainability is the number one thing. So I mean, to be honest, first and foremost, partying is fun. It's really, in our culture, it's the way that we meet new people. It's the way that we try new things, do new things. And especially with, post-pandemic world, I think a lot more people are going to be going out to bars, going out to things like different holiday celebrations. There's a lot of different reasons why we're going to go out and about and consume alcoholic beverages. And that's specifically what this article or movie or video is about, is when it comes to consuming alcohol. First and foremost, before we get into it, if you or a loved one is struggling with alcohol abuse, alcoholism, please seek out support from a licensed professional. If you need someone, I know a couple different people that I could steer you to. This is not advice for people who are dealing with a bigger issue at hand, because there's different levels to partying and drinking, and there is also a line that you cross when it gets into being abusive and not good for you or anyone around you. So please, if you need help, seek help and let me know if you need help, and I can get that for you. So to back it up here, many of you who are watching this maybe know my past, or you've heard my story, and I'm going to pick it up when I was in St. Cloud, in school in St. Cloud, and I was really just partying. Honestly, I think I probably spent upwards of 50%, if not more than half of my days in St. Cloud drinking to get drunk and to party. So it's kind of just what I did. And with that, I ultimately ended up getting out of St. Cloud because my partying habits were just deteriorating my health in general. And I thought that just, getting out of St. Cloud, going to Winona instead, shifting up my environment would be the change I needed to overcome this binge drinking and the unhealthy behaviors and habits that I had. And it turns out that's not necessarily true. It really comes down to fundamentally changing our lifestyle and the way that we use, alcohol in specific, or partying, and doing it, I guess, in more of a strategic and just healthier way. Again, it really comes down to the mindset and discovering shifts in our behaviors that are going to help us see sustainable results while still doing fun things that we enjoy, like partying. So also, before we get into, I'm going to talk about 5 different ways to control damage when it comes to partying and to bounce back and get back on track. Quick talk about what alcohol really is. So alcohol is technically a macronutrient. The other macronutrients that you're probably familiar with are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. And it's pretty dense when it comes to calories. So For example, so carbohydrates and protein have four calories per gram. So that's how calorically dense they are. So for every gram of carbohydrate that you eat, that's going to be 4 calories. And for fats, it's the heaviest. It's 9 calories per gram of fats. And alcohol is in the middle. It's on the high end. Alcohol is actually 7 calories per gram of alcohol consumed. So again, if your goal is to lose weight, specifically body fat, just consider the fact that alcohol is dense. It's a lot of calories. And then on the flip side, it doesn't really have any nutritional value. In fact, there's a lot of evidence to support that alcohol actually extracts minerals and nutrients from our body so that we need to have more of them to replace it. So you almost create like a cycle where if you're partying a lot and you're drinking, you're depriving your energy of these nutrients that your body needs. So then you're going to go out the next day and crave more, and you're going to potentially overeat and binge eat. And it's actually really a cycle that can hinder a lot of progress. I've seen people who do all the right things Monday through Thursday, and then the weekend comes around and they just completely get rid of it. I actually was in that cycle for quite a while. So again, too, specifically when it comes to that talk about the nutrients and the vitamins, vitamin B12 is a big one that depletes. So if you are practicing veganism or vegetarianism, you're already going to be low on the B12s, most likely. And if you throw in drinking alcohol on top of it, it's really just, it's a cycle of failure. It's what it really comes down to. So, and again, I'm never going to sugarcoat anything for you. I'm going to be straight up honest. I think when it comes to fat loss, alcohol is probably the worst thing we can consume for many reasons. I mean, it's not just the fact that as a nutrient per se, it's super unhealthy, and it's actually depleting our other nutrients, but also it hinders our decision making. Because I mean, how often, if you go out with friends, go to the bar or something, you get back like, I don't know, 2 or 3 a.m., everyone's hungry. How often you can be like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to have like maybe a salad or like an egg scramble with some good protein and some extra vitamin B12s. No, it's like, let's order fucking Domino's, or let's go get like the burrito stand, whatever it may be. Our decision making is going to be hindered. So we're not going to be necessarily super ready to stick to what it is we know is going to serve us, which actually is a good transition into point number 1. So if your goal is to lose weight and to lose body fat and to gain muscle and all these things, when it comes to drinking, the most important thing you can do is to have a plan. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Like, have a plan and then you get drunk, and like, who the hell is going to be thinking about a plan at that point, right? Most of us probably aren't going to, but just the fact that you're going to go through the steps of creating a plan before you go out, it's going to be in your subconscious mind. It's going to be down there in some capacity. And whether you stick to it or not, you at least have the intention to be proactive and to be smart about what it is you're going to consume, how much, and when you're going to be consuming it. So that's a big one I like to start with. Just make a plan. It could be earlier in the day. It could take you 2 minutes. Like, hey, I'm going to go out. I'm just going to stick to maybe drinking like gin tonics tonight. And, at the end of the night, I'm going to maybe pre-cook, like, just like a stir fry that I can have if I'm hungry, or, I'm going to order from this place and make sure that I get, this sandwich with like extra veggies and stuff on it. Again, whether we stick to the plan or not is not the most important thing. The important thing is that you're setting an intention beforehand, because if we set that intention, create a plan, we're going to be more likely to do it. So, and again, over time, if you like to go out habitually, more often than not, eventually you're going to figure out the strategies that work for you, and having plans is actually going to work. So it might not work the first time, but just give it a shot. Also, like I mentioned, when it comes to having a plan about what we're going to drink, as we get older, a lot of us, we notice that drinking different types of alcohol can really be tough on the body. And again, if your alcohol at the end of the day is going to break down into maltose, and maltose is a type of sugar essentially that our body just we don't have the enzymes to break it down. So that's why you feel drunk. And that's why the next day you feel like shit, because your body legitimately doesn't know what to do with it. Now, if you are breaking it down into maltose and you're taking it from, let's say, from like rye or whatever, like whiskey, and if you're taking it from wheat, or if you're taking it from like akavit potato vodka, if you're getting it from juniper berries through gin, right? If we're breaking that maltose down from bigger sources, and we're putting a bunch of different types of alcohol into our body, it's going to also make it challenging for our body to break it down and get it to that point. So I always recommend maybe stick to one type of alcohol. that actually is going to segue into our second point, which is pick and choose the type of alcohol you're going to consume wisely. Again, I mean, I have a man bun, as you can see, and I like a nice IPA as much as the next guy. That being said, if I'm going to go out to like a wedding or something, I'm going to be more strategic and maybe choose, again, a gin and tonic, vodka soda, things like that. I just know that if my goal is to build muscle and to lose weight, that choosing a clear alcohol is probably going to serve me better. Beers are the highest when it comes to calories, specifically those IPAs. There's more information too about this in my healthy drinking guide PDF. So download that, take a look at the little infographic, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about at this point, where depending on what we drink can actually, it can impact our progress, and B, how we're feeling the next day. So sticking to one type, ideally clear liquids. Those are the things that are going to set you up more for success. Again, if your goal is fat loss and muscle building, if that's not your goal, then what you do could be very, very different. Okay, so number 3, thinking about the day after, and this is really where like the damage control comes into play. So the way I see it, and with my experience, with my case study in going out and drinking with friends, there's usually, if you overindulge a little bit, there's two different camps that you're going to fall into. It's either A, which is like, I want to just lay in bed. Please don't talk to me. Don't touch me. I'm going to be here for 6 hours watching Netflix, snoozing on and off. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to move. And if you're in that camp, I mean, if your goal is weight loss, good for you, because usually those are also the people that I recognize who don't want to eat. They don't want to go out to brunch with you, which we'll get to that in a second. For those people, I'll just recommend try and get outside, get out for a walk, move your body just a little bit, help ramp the metabolism just enough to start working on breaking that maltose down a little quicker. And then 2, hydrate, obviously, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but choosing the right foods when you do have an appetite again. Second camp, this is where I fall, being a bigger guy, and I'm sure a lot of people will empathize with me. You go out and drink, you wake up, the first thing that you're thinking of is, where the fuck am I going to get brunch? Where can I get pancakes, cinnamon rolls, sausage, eggs, all you can eat buffet would be the best. Like, I just want to eat everything. And again, part of that is, like we talked about, your body's depleted of nutrients, specifically like protein, right? And at the same time, it's just like, what's really happening is you're super dehydrated, but you're, again, at the point where we're perceiving that more as hunger. So that was me. I mean, I was always like, hey, let's go to Perkins or whatever. Let's go get some country, whatever. Let's go get the Southern fried chicken biscuit platter from Perkins. That was like my go-to hungover thing. Someone else's table, I'm probably going to finish their meal too. That's the advice I give to that person, is to kind of fight that hunger urge and drink just a shit ton of water. Again, we'll get to that. That's actually the next point. Maybe put a little bit of lemon and lime in it. It's going to help alkalize the body, bring you back to more of a homeostasis type state. It's not going to cure you by any means, but and 2, maybe have some food with some probiotics in it, some sauerkraut, kombucha could be helpful, things like that, and to avoid the really big heavy foods, because our body's already working hard to digest all that maltose and all the things that we've already put into it. So let's try and like give it a little break. So 4th point, this is the most important thing, not just with drinking, but anything when it comes to health and wellness, is just to drink water. A rule of thumb, most of you probably aren't going to do this, but mix in a water when you're drinking at night, maybe every other drink, mix in a water, depending on where you're at and how much you've already had. But the next thing, like the more important thing, is the next day. Even in the night before you go to bed, I would challenge you to drink like half a gallon of water. It sounds like a lot, but your body needs it. But the next day, you need to be chugging water all day, like it's your motherfucking job. Okay. When we're drinking alcohol, our body is, again, taking resources away from the rest of our body and vitamins and minerals and water out of our cells to try and deal with all this, poison, not poison, but kind of poison stuff that our body doesn't recognize and needs to break down in the maltose. And we need to replenish that water as quickly as possible. So wake up, have at least 24 ounces of water, go to the bathroom, and then have another 24 ounces of water. I'm not even kidding. Like, you should be walking around with a gallon of water the next day to get as hydrated as possible. Again, there's different ways and schools of thoughts on, these liquid IVs and this powders and shit. I don't know. I've always found that the best thing to get hydrated is just straight up water. I don't know. I haven't seen any evidence, or I don't know, I guess, like, Pedialyte or whatever. I don't know how much better that is going to be for you. I always just go by straight water, but if there's something else that you want to try out, go for it. Again, life is a giant experiment. See what works for you. I think water is the best thing we can consume, not just the day after drinking, but all the time. And then the fifth thing, again, practice guilt-free indulgence. It's not every day that you're going to go out to a show, or it's not going to be St. Patrick's Day every day. It's not, these different things that we celebrate. It's not every day. So as long as it's not an everyday habit, you should be able, one night of going out and having fun with friends shouldn't completely derail your progress. And like I said at the beginning, if you see a problem happening with you, friends, family, loved ones, get them the support they need. That's really important. But again, if we're being really, really strategic and diligent about what we're doing most of the time, it's that 80-20 rule coming back to what we do the majority of the time is what we're going to become all the time. And it's okay to let loose and have fun and do it guilt-free, right? If you go out and maybe you had a couple more drinks than you wanted to, and you feel like shit, don't like beat yourself up over it. Just bounce back the next day, drink water, say, hey, I had a lot of fun. It was nice to connect with my friends. Haven't seen them in a while. It's good to get out and do these things again after 2 years of being kind of cooped up. So really just recognize that practicing guilt-free consumption responsibly is always a good plan. We ain't got no time for guilt here, not on coachcrew.com. Okay, so I got again for today. Make sure to check out that healthy drinking guide PDF. There's going to be a lot of good information in there, little infographics on how to be smart about your consumption, make sure that doesn't completely derail your goals. And two, as always, if you do have any thoughts or comments, maybe I'm way out in left field here and abstaining from drinking is the only way forward. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, but I want to have a conversation with you. So either if you like what I'm saying or if you don't like what I'm saying, let me know, reach out. I'm always here, open to have a conversation. That's what I got for today. I hope everyone enjoy your celebrations as they come and enjoy the oncoming summer as well. And as always, of course, until next time, keep inspiring. Thank you.